Okay, so in this video, I'm going to be restoring the center console and making some changes to it. I originally wasn't going to make this video, but I decided to go ahead and make it because in my previous video, I took all this console out and I said that I was probably just going to replace it all. But the thing is, I'm already in the process of buying a brand new dashboard for it, followed immediately by new seats, and I've spent so much money on it already that I don't want it to be cheap, but I'm trying to save money where I can. So I'm just going to reuse most all of this, and I'm going to show you what I did. I want to show you a clip from my video so you see what it looked like before. So let's take a look at that.
Okay, so in this video, I'm looking to remove this center console. I'm going to try to clean it up. I may replace it. We'll see what happens. And if you're familiar.
Okay, so anyway, that's what it looked like before. Um, that that knob was terrible looking, so was the bag. So let's get to it. I'm trying to do it on the cheap, so let's get to it.
So a few things I did to save a few bucks to redo that center console is I took apart the gear shifting knob, and this is the top piece for it, and it was scuffed up really bad. It looked terrible. But I took a towel and buffed it out, and got it looking pretty good. I'm excited. Okay, so I am really excited about this improvement above all the other improvements that I'm doing with that center console. This is the wooden gear shift knob. If you saw before, the finish was just completely wore off. It was faded really bad, looked like crap. I sanded it down to the bare wood. I had some stain from previous project, some dark walnut stain, so I stained it dark walnut, and I put 4 layers of polyurethane on it. I put 1 layer each day. I put the 4th and final coat, and I am just really thrilled with how that turned out. That is just really going to look badass down there in the center console. I'll show you the polyurethane that I used. I'm not being promoted by these people in any way. So anyway, I had that from another project too, so really excited about that. Okay, so the center console, everything's been on the cheap thus far, except for this is the old shifter bag, and somebody just glued Velcro. I don't even know, this is like some kind of chamois or something. Wow, that's crazy. But I got this for $30. It's the correct shifter bag that goes in there with the screws for 30 bucks. So that's going in there. That's going to be with it. Gang, I am excited. This is going to look badass, and so far I'm only $30 into it. Okay, so the next thing, the most obvious, is this big plastic piece here that, I was thinking I was going to have to replace it, but I've been cleaning up and it's coming around pretty good. It's not looking too bad. I took this plastic window off and cleaned it up. And really, after I get done cleaning it, the worst thing that makes it look old is the fact that, I'm trying to get to where the camera can see, there's supposed to be a gray stripe along there, and then it's just wore off. And look at that, see how old that looks? So I've got an idea for that. So I'm going to take, my wife got me I specifically wanted this silver paint pen, and I'm going to go all along that. Then here where it's all faded, I'm going to take this pin and just go across the top of that, and then put everything back together, and we'll take a look at how it turns out. I just wanted to show this Sharpie marker thing works great. You can see where I've gone with it and where I haven't. Look at that, I haven't done that side yet. There's the original all faded and cracked. And look at that. Wow. I really excited about how that's turning out. It's hard to do it through the camera, but I'll try to show. Just like that. Because the plastic's already raised, I'm just touching it and going along. Anyway. Okay, so I'm going to be putting on a new heater AC faceplate and the window guard. It started out, I wasn't going to, but it started out, this is the old window guard, and I started cleaning up and I was like, oh my gosh, I really can't clean it up, and it's broke in a couple places. So I went to originally just buy a new cover, but for just like a few dollars more, I could get the faceplate too. So I found this on eBay for 26 bucks, brand new. And so we're gonna replace the old. Okay, so to get to this, I was already changing out the center console. If you're not familiar with changing out the center console, I do have a video on that. Okay, so let's get this off. I've got this fan switch out of here, which was easy enough. Maybe. There it goes. Now I gotta take off this faceplate. Let's take a look at what's going on here. Okay, so it's not easy to get to, but there's a couple screws right there and right there that I'm gonna have to take off. Okay, so that's what I'm gonna do. I have to set the camera down, but it's Phillips. I'm gonna take these two screws out and then we'll see what we got. Okay, now with those two screws out, okay, I think I can just jimmy this off here. I'm sorry, let me move my lighting here where it's a little better. Okay, maybe that's a little better for the lighting for the audience. Now, I'm sorry, I just keep showing the back of my hand here, but okay, here we go. And there we go. Okay, so there's the old one. And there's what that looks like. Okay, so I was able to slide this past those knobs once these two screws were removed. I just slid right past the knobs and came right out. Okay, so I wanted to show, just for fun, the old one. So here's the old one. It's pretty wore down. It's not just dirty, but it's missing a lot of its finish. And of course, like I discussed, the plate was just, it's broke, and this is actually burnt because this was near the ashtray. Something happened that burnt. But here's the new one, and I think this is hilarious. You can see the artwork on it is just a little bit different, but that's okay. I think that's kind of funny, but it looks really nice. And of course, there's the clear cover for it all. And so, yeah, I'm just really pleased with this new one and how that looks. There's the new versus the old. So very happy with that. Okay, so while this is all apart, I'm trying to do this through my camera, so it's not easy. Okay, I'm going to clean up these knobs and get them to look a little better. So I'm going to set the camera down, and I'm just going to give these a good scrubbing, get them cleaned up. They're in pretty good shape, they're just dirty. Okay, so I just used an old toothbrush, and it was an old one. It's not one that I'm going to turn around and use in my mouth. So those knobs cleaned up great. I'm not going to replace them or anything. That would definitely be a pain in the butt, but I'm not going to do that. So let's get that faceplate, the new one, back on here and see what happens. Okay, so I'm getting ready to put the new faceplate on, and I realized that I did forget to mention there is two screws for the fan switch, which go right there, like that. Okay, so there's 4 screws on the back of this thing. And okay, I am going to put this on now, and it's just going to jimmy over those. Let's see here. So let's see if I can do this and hold the camera at the same time. Probably not. Okay, I do need my other hand, but you see how this is just going to slide over there. All right, it's starting to come already. All right, so I'm going to set this camera down for just a second, but you see what's going on. I do have a camera stand, but I can't jimmy it in such a way to do all this. So, okay, so once I freed up my second hand, it went right on. What I had to do was just kind of squeeze these together, but that got it. So, okay, so I do got those 2 screws back on. One and then down there, and so now I take the fan switch, get it back there, and you can see where its 2 screws go. Okay, so I'm going to set the camera down and put in those 2 little screws right there. Okay, so I've got 2 fan screws and the 2 faceplate screws, which are right behind there. And I'm really happy with the way this looks. Oh, I keep forgetting about the light. I'm sorry there. So, next, excuse me. Okay, let me find a place to put this light. I'm going to mount the plastic cover here. Okay. So, this plastic cover, it actually snaps on there. So, I'm going to go ahead and put it on, and I can't do it and see through the camera at the same time. I'm sorry. Let me set it down. Okay, so now I got the plastic cover snapped into place, and there it is. So when I put the console back on, this will it's got 3 screws holding it to the console, and yeah, that looks really sharp. Oh my gosh, best $26 I ever spent. What a difference. Wow, what a difference. So much better. So much more gooder. All right. So that's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. I've got okay, so now I'm finally ready to unite everything. Got to get this cigarette lighter back in here. This, the switches. So I got to put all this together and then get it all to fit back on there, which anybody will tell you is going to take a little more than a smile, but we're going to do it. Okay, so putting this back together, I'm going to start with this toggle and this, and there's 1, 2, 3 screws that are right there, 1, 2, and 3, and then these 2 screws are for this toggle. And so I'm going to set the camera down, and I'm sorry I'm always setting the camera down, but I do have a camera stand, but I can never jimmy it in such a way where people can see, and I'm just by myself. So I'm going to put that back in there and screw that in place. Okay, so that's all I'm doing anyway. Okay, so just real quick, I got that switch in. I'm getting ready to put the screws back in for that. It's just 3 of them right there. Okay, so there's those things screwed back in. All right. Okay, and now cigarette lighter, and this. It's not giving me much room. Okay, so I gotta get this back up there and then screw this on. So I'm going to set the camera down and do that real quick. Okay, so there's that. Mr. Gosh, and now these two switches just go up there, and I got the screws for them, so I'm going to do that. Okay, so now it's starting to want to slide into place. Got to jimmy with it a little bit, but it's getting there, almost there. All right, so now I just have to line up these screws on the side. Take the screw out. It goes right there. Let me get this set in spot and screwed in here. Okay, so I'm getting those screws in place on the 4 screws on the side here. Okay, so there's that much. It's back on. Let's get this shifter knob back on. Okay, so this is a joyful moment. I'm going to put the shifter knob back on. And like I said, this is something that I'm just really proud of how that turned out. And let's see, that looks good. So get this guy on. And let's see here. Just like that. Okay. Oh, that I think I got some polyurethane on those down there on it, but let's see what's going on here. Because I had this. Let me do this another way. Okay. I'm going to put this piece, inside of there, and then we'll go from there. Okay, I was able to get that in there. It's in there now. And, yep. All right. Get this thing going. Oops, there we go. All right. That back up there a little bit. There. There we go. All right. That's got it. Okay. Getting that back on. Okay. So I got the spring on in there. I'm going to screw this on. Alright, screwing that down. Okay, so there's that. I'm going to throw it back in park here. Alright, perfect. Alright, I am just really happy with how that's turned out. Alright. I was able to get this sharp gray stripe back on there. And then, of course, we got our new faceplate. That's been redone. All right. Okay, so I just wanted to show, I've been messing with the height of that bolt so that when I screw this on, I can finally get it. And I got to put the spring in there yet, I know, but I'm just trying to see I very nearly got it. I think that will be a good height so that the emblem is on there correct, and you can still push it down. Okay, so I've got that adjusted to the right height to where I can now push and the emblem is correct. All right, so let's take a final look at this. There it is. It looks kind of weird just sitting there by itself because there's so much other stuff missing, but that's coming soon. But I'm pretty happy with everything. I spent $30 on this and $26 on the new faceplate, and that was it as far as the money that I spent The stain and polyurethane I already had. And my wife bought me the marker that I needed, the $3 marker that I needed. So, all right. Anyway, there it is. Big improvement. Yeah, I'm just really happy. This really gets me excited to get the new dash in here. I'm working on it. I'll be doing that next. All right, stay tuned. And thank you so much for watching. If you're familiar with my channel, you know I've got lots of projects on this C3 Corvette and a 3rd gen Camaro and a lot of other miscellaneous stuff. So, yep, thank you so much for watching.